Hey everybody, I'm Invisible Katana, and this is the first episode of a new series I decided to do because on my channel, typically, I'm doing my, TV show reviews and stuff like that, and it's just like this episode, this is what I like, didn't like, simple stuff like that. But I never really talk about stuff that always bothered me. So I wanted to do a new series, and that's why it's called Random Rant, because it's going to be a lot of different random stuff, and that's why this first episode is something so old. Like, it's just so old. It's old news. But, I love the Resident Evil franchise. And it's my favorite franchise. It's my favorite video game franchise, despite, some of the ups and downs. So, despite the downs, I should say, really. And I was incredibly excited when the films came out. Like, the first movie, I still love the first movie. I think it's a really good, typical horror movie. It's not, like, super scary or anything like that. It doesn't really follow the game, which I wouldn't expect it to. It would need, like, 800 more puzzles to do that. But I like the first movie. Like, I don't know about other people, but I really enjoyed the first Resident Evil movie. I thought it's a good it was a good modern horror movie. It's like, it's not going to be ultra scary. It wasn't, like, really stupid and campy or anything. People did die, like, left and right. People were getting killed off in that movie. So it was just really good. It had good amounts of tension. There were little twists in there, here and there, little stuff. And I really liked that movie. And the way it ended, it was like, all right, there's going to be a sequel, maybe, if it does good. And then there was a sequel, and I was incredibly excited. I was like, there's going to be a second movie. It's going to be in Raccoon City. It's going to be, Alice in the city, like, just doing crazy stuff. And then I saw the movie, which this was, it was probably the worst way to see this movie, too. I saw it on, like, the worst bootleg I've ever seen in my life. It was like a YouTube video, like those super rare ones that are like 144p, and it's just basically blocks. It's like not even 8-bit, it just looks like crap. That was what I saw, and it was somehow on DVD. It looked like it was like the worst videotape in the universe. But I saw the movie, and I just hated it. And there were multiple things, admittedly, but the biggest issue, honestly, was Mike Epps being in the second Resident Evil movie just made me so incredibly angry when I watched it. Like, I love Mike Epps. He is really funny. He's good. His stand-up is really funny. He's a good actor, but he does, like, serious movies as well. But obviously, everyone kind of knows him for, like, Next Friday and stuff like that. But he's good whether it's comedy or drama. He can act. He's good in stand-up. I like Mike Epps, but I do not like when you put Mike Epps as funny Mike Epps, because if it was him toned down, like slightly more dramatic Mike Epps, it would have been weird, because it's like, oh, I wouldn't have expected, Mike Epps. But when you put, like, hilarious Mike Epps in a Resident Evil movie, it makes me hate you a little bit. And it was just like, I was so mad when I saw that happen. I still don't understand why that was the case. Maybe, I think, what's his name, Paul W.S. Anderson, maybe he just really likes Mike Epps like everybody else, and he just wanted him in it. But when you have a guy in a Resident Evil movie, in any serious movie, like a horror movie about zombies or something, you don't have him have a line where he hits a zombie and he's like, GTA, motherfucker, 10 points. You don't have somebody do that. Like, that's just not something you put in a movie. You don't have a guy have gold guns. Like, I know that, I'm assuming and I'm really hoping that was a reference to Code Veronica and Steve, who has, like, 2 gold Lugers. Although that's a reference that shouldn't be put in a live action movie, because it's, no matter what, it doesn't make sense. I mean, even in the game, it was like, what? How did gold Lugers? It was still awesome because he had, like, a cool Matrix scene, which he totally should have died from, when he jumps through an entire window, like 20 feet off the ground. It's still one of my favorite scenes in that game, though. But when you put that in a live action movie, and the guy just has 2 gold guns, it just looks ridiculous. It's like, he has 2 gold guns. That makes no sense. And there was so much that could have been great about the movie. It was a mixture. It was sort of a mixture between Resident Evil 2 and 3, because they couldn't do, Resident Evil 2 where they're just inside of the RPD station. So that made perfect sense. But they had stuff from there, like when they're in the church scene. It's like, that scene is kind of taken from Resident Evil 2. Obviously, all the characters, for the most part, that are actually from the games are like the Resident Evil 3 characters. So you have Jill, and then the Resident Evil 3 version, where she's even in that outfit. They had Carlos, Nikolai, and Mikhail, the mercenaries and stuff. And they even had the scene at the end, which is, like, totally from Code Veronica when she's like running through the hallways and the helicopter shooting, and when she does the little gun drop thing and she kills the guys. And you had Nemesis. Like, there is so much in the movie that should have just been perfect. And then even that stuff wasn't excellent, but it was just like the Mike Epps thing just really made me so angry. Like, I've seen all the movies. I'm gonna go see the last one. It's coming out, I guess, next year or whatever. I've seen them all because it's like, well, why not? I think after the second movie, it got better when it went in its own direction rather than actually trying to do the films. Like, sure, bring in the other characters. Why the heck not? Who gives a crap? It's not like they're related to the games anyway. But like Mike Epps in the third movie, I thought it was totally fine. He was funny, but it was like horror movie comedy where it's like it's very toned down. You have like, a comedy relief character in a horror movie is like really really subtle. It's like they're the jokey character, but it's not like super over the top where he's like driving around hitting zombies and talking about GTA. Which I feel like another random thing. They do that in so many movies. I really don't think you get points for hitting people in Grand Theft Auto. I could be wrong, but I've certainly never seen that. You also don't get points in Resident Evil or in Grand Theft Auto. That's not a thing. You get money, and you have to pick up the money. It's just super random right there because everyone always says that. It's like you don't get points for hitting people. You may have in like the original ones. I don't really know about those, but I know currently that hasn't happened for years. You get money, and you don't get money just for hitting the people. You have to get the money off of their bodies. But back to Resident Evil. In the third movie, Mike Epps was definitely toned down, and I was fine with it. I think, aside from that movie going obviously its own direction in general with the whole desert planet thing, I think it was just well done with Mike Epps being way more toned down. It worked way better. He was still funny, but at least it was just really, really toned down. It was almost like him in a drama movie where he's still Mike Epps. He's the one who's still going to be the comic relief character. But at least it's toned down. It's not like way over the top with gold guns and silly stuff like that. And I enjoyed that. I was like, okay. I was really glad that happened when I saw the third movie. I was like, I'm so happy that it's not over the top like it was in the second movie. But it just destroyed the second one for me. Like, I hated it so much. And he did, and it's like, it's not to say he had a bad performance or anything, because obviously it was over the top and silly like it was supposed to be. It just shouldn't have been in the film in general. Like, him being that over the top, it just always sticks in my mind. It always makes me just despise that movie, like, so much. And there's a lot of cool things in it. Like, they did have Jill, they had the mercenaries, they had Nemesis, they actually destroyed Raccoon City, which was seemingly Detroit at the end. Don't know about that, but I can accept that because it's favorite franchise, that's where I'm from. I can accept that. It was really random and weird. I don't know why Raccoon City was Detroit. I don't know. I should look that up actually because I've always kind of wondered that. Like, why did they choose... It was basically Detroit. It was like in the area. It's like, why'd they choose that as, of all the places, why'd they choose that as Raccoon City? Like, I know technically Raccoon City is in the Midwest. That's what they say. Or Mideast, I guess. I think it's supposed to be Midwest, and, we're basically full on East. But either way, that doesn't really matter. But the Mike Epps thing just has always been in my head. It's always been there. It's always been, like, just that second movie. Mike Epps. That's all I think about. There are a lot of cool moments in it, and it's just like all I think of is like Mike Epps, super funny. That shouldn't have been in that film. So much other great stuff, but it's just like that's all I focus on is that horrible that one thing. He was good in it, but he shouldn't have been funny Mike Epps. He shouldn't have been like that. And I remember watching a video, even Mila Jovovich said she didn't want to do the third movie after the second one. I don't know if it was a Mike Epps thing. She just mentioned that she didn't even like the second movie. And I don't know, for me, it does come off from the Mike Epps stuff. Like, I don't think I would have been, like, in love with it, because I still do think that it wasn't as good as the first movie, even without the Mike Epps stuff, because it wasn't as horror-based, which I feel like it should have been, and I guess some people might connect that to how the games currently are, which, that's how it is. But, I don't know. For me, it was just always the Mike Epps thing. It's always bothered me. So, this is the first episode of Random Rant. I hated that so much. I like Mike Epps, The movies are okay. Like I said, I watch them. I have the first three, I think, because I bought like a double pack thing. Um, I know I've watched. I don't know if I even did watch it. I had to have opened it up when I bought the 2 pack thing, but yeah, I don't know. Like I'm gonna see the last movie, like I said, but no matter what, out of all the movies, all the craziness that's happened in all those films, whether it's good or bad, and just how they represent the characters from the games and all this stuff, like especially the last movie where it was just like, here's everybody, here's Leon, here's Ada, here's Barry. They brought back characters from the first movie, which I thought was a cool concept actually. But here's just like everyone, um, good or bad. Just every time I think about the franchise, I just go straight to that second movie, and I just think, why was Mike Epps so funny in that film? It shouldn't have happened. But that's my random rant for today. I definitely want to know what you guys think about that. If you've seen the movie, just what you guys think about the Resident Evil movies in general, I guess, if you want to. But if you actually like the films, or you stuck through them kind of like I did, like I loved the first one because I thought it was well done. I didn't think it, obviously it didn't follow the first movie really at all. There was not, I don't think there was any, thanks for water. I don't think there was any character in the first movie that was in the game at all, or in the game that was actually represented in the first film in any way, shape, or form. Um, so there was that. I mean, they were in the mansion, and that was about it. They had zombies, and the zombie dogs, and that's about it. They had the lickers, which technically didn't come until the second game. But whether you like the franchise or not, if you've at least seen the movie, or you've heard this random rant, and now you know that Mike Epps was in that second movie as like hilarious Mike Epps, like as if he went from Next Friday straight into this movie as the same person. Not the same person, but still really funny, over the top Mike Epps. Just tell me what you guys think. So please comment below, let me know. And of course, thanks for watching.